US Secretary of State Colin Powell has said that bilateral ties between India and America are the best now than they've ever been. To tell us more, I'm now joined by the Secretary of State himself. Mr. Powell, let me start by asking you, there's a lot of concern in India over the anti-outsourcing wave in the US. Is this a big problem between our countries, or is this just election rhetoric?
Well, it is a real problem. When people lose jobs, it becomes a political problem. And outsourcing has caused the loss of some jobs in the United States. But outsourcing is just a fact of life in this 21st century global economic environment in which we live. We outsource to India. India, in some instances, outsources back to the United States when Indian businessmen ask for American lawyers or accountants or others to provide a service for Indian businesses. And so what we have to do is to make sure our people understand what outsourcing is about, how it is important to us and important to the nations to whom we outsource jobs.
There's a lot of feeling in this country that the US has double standards, that when there's a dictator with no weapons of mass destruction as yet, you go to war with him. And when there's a dictator in our neighborhood who has weapons of mass destruction and is proliferating them all across the world, you take no action.
We take action against all proliferators. It doesn't always mean that that action has to be a military action. With respect to Saddam Hussein, we took action there because he had ignored the directions of the international community for 12 years. And we also had somebody who had used weapons of mass destruction against his neighbors and against his own people. That was a clear case. With respect to other countries such as Libya, Iran, and North Korea, we're using political and diplomatic methods. With respect to Pakistan, we gave information to Pakistan with respect to the activities of Dr. A.Q. Khan.
Fair enough. You say you've had information, you've had intelligence, all this while that Abdul Qadir Khan has been up to no good, proliferating. Now tell me, why have you not taken action so far? Is there a lack of political will in America to deal with Pakistan?
It's not just a matter of having information. You have to make sure the information, one, is accurate, it's usable. And when we had a case that was usable and actionable, and we knew a great deal about this network, what did we do? We took it to the Pakistanis and said, it's time for all of this to come to an end. And we told President Musharraf that President Bush was going to be acting on this and speaking out about it. And what really triggered it all was when the Libyans came forward with their decision to get rid of all weapons of mass destruction. Some of the information we got from the Libyans confirmed much of the information that we had about Dr. A.Q. Khan in a way that we could make an absolutely ironclad case. And when we did that, President Musharraf acted. And let's not underestimate the importance of Dr. Khan coming out on television saying, I did this, I acknowledge it, it was wrong.
But he's been pardoned. He's been pardoned by President Musharraf.
He's been given a conditional amnesty by the president. My concern was getting rid of the network, getting rid of the potential for weapons of mass destruction components to go to places like Libya, like North Korea, and other such places. That has been brought to an end.
Now, you're not a cricket fan, but there's a cricket series on between India and Pakistan. Do you think sport like cricket could do something that the politicians couldn't?
You know, it is fascinating what sports can do. I mean, I can go back 30 years or longer and tell you that it was a simple ping pong match that got the United States and China into a discussion that led to the kind of relationship we now have with China. And I'm not suggesting it's the same as the case here, but when people can come together and go to each other's country to watch a conflict being played out on the field of sport as opposed to the field of battle, and you see that people can do this and appreciate the other side, appreciate the talent the other side brings to the field, then why can't that same spirit, that same philosophy infect other aspects of relations between the two people? And let that be our hope. Let's hope that the spirit of cricket we've been seeing for the last few days infects the whole comprehensive dialogue between the two sides.
Now, you're here at a time when the election process in India is starting off. How does the US public and the US administration view the Indian elections?
With great interest. I mean, India is, we like to say, they're the two greatest democracies on the face of the earth, are the oldest, the United States, and the largest, India. And you have an electronic system, which, from what I've been told today, is perhaps superior to the many systems we have in our country. So we are watching your democracy in action again, and we hope that it will be a well-fought battle between those who are vying for political power, and the people of India will speak as to how they wish to be governed in the future. The United States will respond in any way, whoever prevails in this contest, because we know it will be a democratic contest and the results will rest on a solid democratic base.
Mr. Colin Powell, thank you very much for speaking to Doordarshan News.
Thank you.